Peace and blessings, y'all. This is Real Talk with the book author, Devret Clarke. Now, a lot of people in the world, they keep talking on the negative things, which is why, because we need to address them. I wanted to make a subject in regards to reality and rich people and poor people. It doesn't matter what you are. There's good and there's evil. It doesn't matter your financial gain or stature or what you're going through. Because there's some people may thinking, if you're rich, you must be evil. We need to break that stereotype. We got to realize there's this poor, wicked, jealous people too, who are just as evil as those who may be rich. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Evil exists, and evil is within man. You understand? Because sin is within man. And this worst sin is the sin of a man doing unto another. You understand? The worst sin out there is the sin of a man doing unto another. You gotta understand that there's people in this world that are good still. I consider myself to be one. To do good things, to be courteous, to be respectful, have manners, respect, and just live life how I would like to live. I treat people how I would like to be treated. Now, when it comes to wickedness, there's wicked people who have a 0 cents in their bank account. 0, and they depend on the government. You know what I mean? There's people in this world with millions and billions of dollars that are wicked. Don't just confuse this with just rich people who are evil, or they have to join a cult or something. You don't need to have a cult. You don't need to join anything to be evil and wicked. We have so many people in this world that are doing some nasty things at every level. Because even recently I just seen a child kill his mom. I didn't see it, but I heard on the news. He killed his mom for $500 because she refused to pay for some headset. So he basically killed her, took her credit card and paid for it. Now he's facing up to 60 years in jail. You know what I mean? If that was the case. But allegedly. But that's what the stories are going around. We already know that there's stories of people locking kids in the basement, locking family members, doing certain things unto strangers, locking them up in cages, doing certain things, evil onto them, not good. But my point to this video is the fact that everything out there is out there. Don't let nobody tell you nowadays, because nowadays you can't debunk something by saying, you know what, that's not true, that person was crazy. The government called that person crazy. The government said that's not true, that's a lie, that's bullshit. Everything I'm now taking into consideration. Everything now, I'm looking at every single thing out there, and I'm realizing that, you know what, that may just be true. That person's telling a good story. He's telling the truth. She's telling the truth. Because if it's not, that takes away from the credibility within the story that I'm trying to tell. And the story I'm telling and the things that I'm going through witchcraft and sorcery and demonic and wicked devices, through synthetic telepathy and community stalking, these things are happening to me out of the blue. It's not like something I just picked up. That's why they try to label you with psychoses and schizophrenia. That's not the case. They only want to label you something because I told you before, if you go to a psychiatrist, which I never did, they're going to tell you whatever happens to you because they need to get you to feel like they have money. They need the money. They need to feel wise. They need to feel like they have an answer. So when you go to a hospital, likewise, they're going to actually tell you, you're sick, you have this cold, you have something, because they want to make sure that they look professional and keep you coming back. They don't want to just leave somebody out. If you're feeling pain and you leave that hospital without them saying, oh, we don't know what it is, it makes that hospital look like they're entitled to whatever happens to you, because they're going to say, how are you professionals and you don't know what the heck this has happened to this person. So instead, they want you to sign off and know what you are, because they'll just come to you with a random thing. It's psychosis, it's schizophrenia, it's depression, and you need to sign off a paper just to show that you left that place. They need you to do this. This is why everything in this effing world is scripted. Everything in this world is scripted. I was watching a video last night. I forgot his name. One dude that was talking about clones. I'll put his name in the description if I can remember. All that shit is true. All of it is true when it comes to cloning, when it comes to the Illuminati, all these faggots doing certain things and cloning the bodies and doing certain things to the bodies of the clones, killing. This is all true stuff. I ain't gonna say I seen or witnessed the shit. I'm just trying to show you that the way you're speaking and the way that I'm hearing multiple people say this throughout the course of time is true. We all seen the signs of what happens to celebrities when they burn out. We all seen the signs of what happens to them when they step out of line. It's a sequel. It's a progress. It's a process. And every one of them fall under the same category. You look at Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, all of these, so on and so on. If you go across certain lines, they keep you in that same way. So it's when you're at your peak, they drop you, or you better do what they say. The moment you start stepping out, what do? It's the same pattern that's going around. You look at Michael Jackson. What did they do to him? They killed him. What did they do to Prince when they start talking about what's going on? Because when they had enough and their souls be like, you know what? I can't do this no more. This is when a lot of them start breaking free. But at the end of the day, their life's on the line. And this is the world that we're going against. Look at Kanye West, was this prime example of who just might be next. And I ain't trying to curse him. I'm not trying to put any hex on him. But I'm trying to show y'all, if you look at the pattern, look at the pattern of people who are celebrities, and all of a sudden they step away, or they lose the backing behind them in regards to that form of backing. Because if they're with Christ and the Most High, they got the backing. But if they're not, they're falling from the Illuminati, and this is what happens. You look at Prodigy. How did he pass away? Right when he said he found God. He used to curse God this whole time in his rap music. Prodigy of Mobb Deep. He would curse God. I remember him on a song with 50 Cent. And I liked the song, but I didn't like his verse. So I had to actually not get that song, because I'm not listening to a guy curse or disrespect the Most High. So what I did is I took him out of the song, cut it out. But regardless of that, it's like he went to jail, he found wisdom, he got his understanding or whatever thing that when he went through. Because I remember we made a video online, you could find it yourself, where he was in his bedroom and said he seen a UFO and he prayed to see it. So, and one time when he was driving, so he turned around, he turned his life around, and he basically, started believing, because that's how the world goes. It's your last hour before your first. So you could say, everybody could say what he want about him, but he actually could have saved his own soul in his last days. But regardless of that, it's not my point. My point is the fact that he started speaking out. He made a song about it. He made music about it. Get armor, get guns, real power people. Listen to that song. You know what I mean? Listen to that song. He even broke up with the Mobb Deep member Havoc, because I ain't gonna speak on the full extent because I don't know, but from what I understand is that Havoc's probably still on that same lane of shoot 'em up. He's on a new level of different things. So what do? They call you gay, they call you a faggot, they call you certain things to discredit who you really are. And this is what happened to him, because if you look at it, how could all of these artists that start speaking the truth, and people, they even get more fan base and respect from the real ones and the truthers like myself, and then all of a sudden they pass away mysteriously too, or of some kind of shit, you know what I mean? And then they blame it on whatever he was facing throughout that whole time. So with Michael Jackson, they saying he had mental health, he had you know what I mean, all types of shit, and they they dead them off. They dead them off. Prince, the moment he spoke on some real shit, they dead him off. You know what I mean? So if you look at the patterns of the wicked, it's the same cycle and progress in what they're doing to people within the music industry, the actors, actresses. You know what I mean? There's a lot of them that just change, and you would even see the opposite change as well, where it's like they start off Christian and now they're doing wickedness on stage. You know, not to keep using her as an example, but you look at Beyonce. She was singing hymns. She was singing Christian songs, and now she's as fierce, looking like the demon. You know what I mean? With all that makeup, and you know what I mean? It's like they have to turn you into a beast into this music industry. You look at again, look at Beyonce as a married woman now. She's married to Jay-Z. You shouldn't be looking upon her in her music videos because she's flaunting too much. And at the end of the day, that's the lust of the eyes, because that's somebody's wife now. That's somebody's wife right now. So you shouldn't be looking upon her. You shouldn't be lusting after her, and she should be dressing modesty because she knows better to do better, but she's actually falling under this hypnosis, a spell. You know what I mean? And that's the cycle, because there's a lot of good girls gone bad over this music industry, and they change their ways from good to evil. There's actors, there's actresses as well doing the same things. You know, there's a couple that even this dude I was talking about, and made this video, who said he was talking about clones and shit within the video. If you look at everything that was going on, E.C. Sholin, I think it was not Miley Cyrus, but Hannah Montana or some shit like that. But one of them, I'll put the description in there as well. Other than that, you gotta be careful in what you're entertaining yourself with. You gotta be careful in what you're entertaining yourself with. I used to watch movies when I was younger, like not younger, I'll say like, well, younger of course, because I was used to watch it when I was around, 20 something. And one time I was watching one with Jonah Hill in it, and as I'm watching it, I'm seeing the goat head, that Baphomet or whatever they worship, the devil head, and it flashed, and the moment I said, what the hell is this, I turned it off. I rewinded it first, and then I turned it off because I seen what I seen, and I caught it. So that's what made me stop watching these movies from these people, because they're polluting your mind. You're sitting there looking at a screen thinking you're watching the actors and actresses, but you're actually looking at this skull and bone piece of shit, and they're looking right back at you. So it's as if you're worshiping them. And that's what made me turn away from watching movies completely, because there's some good movies out there, but it sucks now because you don't know what they're doing to you. You can sit there and it could possess your brain. You can sit there and you can watch these things, and that flash, because they put it for less than a second, and boom, it came up and it came off. But I caught it because my eyes are sharp. So I basically rewinded it, and I'm like, look at this shit. If I could find a movie with him that it was up there, I'll put it up as well. But not to just look at it and, not to watch the movie, but to actually find that clip. You know what I mean? So it came so fast over. It was like, what the hell is this? And they do that. Because what happens when you're sitting there looking at the screen and this thing is looking at you in your brain? It's like you're serving them and you're worshiping them, and it's going into your head. Because you're staring into something. The eyes is the key to the soul. So if they put a visual up and you're looking into this thing, it's looking at you. You know what I mean? And it's like you're worshiping it. Because I look at statues outside, I walk right by, I don't even want to look at them sometimes, because it's like I'm not going to bow my head up, because they make them taller than you for a reason, so you can look up to them. I don't look up to them, I walk past. You know what I mean? But anyways, y'all, again, the message in this video is about don't judge everything or put everything off because the government says so. When it comes to UFOs, they were calling people crazy, and I wrote about this in my book, Exposing the Ways of the Wicked, where they were telling people who seen these UFOs and abductions have been crazy this whole time. This whole time they were telling the truth. This whole time they were traumatized, and the government made them off as crazy. threw them in psych wards and basically gave them medicine to shut up, you know what I mean, and not to say anything. And disclosure. So if you work for the government, the U.S. Army or wherever, and you disclose this information, they kill you. Look at what all of those guys happen. There's a guy with like 3 fingers missing because he's telling the truth. The Dulce Base and all this shit, Area 45 or whatever, 51, you know, all of that shit is true, man. Because at the end of the day, they wouldn't want to cover it up. I look at what's going on with me. I'm monitored, man. I'm being monitored, tracked 24/7. Where these assholes are just monitoring me. They can see me as if it's like Google Maps, where they can go anywhere, follow you, but this is in lifetime. So it reminds me of the stuff that they put in that movie with Denzel, Deja Vu. If that was the one, I think it was Deja Vu, where Claire Kukovich or whatever, where they're in her house at lifetime and they're seeing her and they're following her around and she feels the uncomfortableness. That's how I felt at first when this happened to me. So I know it's real. I know they have technology like that, where they're just perverted sitting behind this shit, monitoring you. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you may be wondering, why are these losers, how did they get access to it? It's because I just told y'all, if evil is out there, evil uses its own. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. They will use whatever source to get at you. And you may not be a high profile, and that's why there's not, these people, these losers are following you. Because they're okay doing that, because they have nothing to do anyway. Some of them are retarded, they're using. Some of them are just dorks, man. Some of them are just rejects to life. I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to start the new video just to end it. Yeah, so as I was saying, everything out there is true. If somebody said it, it's probably true. You know what I mean? If somebody's actually sincerely speaking on a subject nowadays, it's probably true. We can't debunk anything and say, no, it's not correct. We can't say, no, that's not right, if your ass wasn't the one in the position. You know what I mean? I look at my own situation. Once again, man, I'm being spied on 24/7. There's no privacy, and on top of that, these assholes have to talk to me, man. On top of all of that, they're stealing my thoughts. They can put their own thoughts in my head and make it look like I'm the one speaking inwardly. And that's why I even tell them devils, you ain't gonna hear me saying none of the shit you're saying, because they'll say disrespectful things about your people, your family, dead or alive, and they're trying to say, look, he's smiling, just to make me feel like I'm not doing that. But they want everybody else in the circle to make you look like you're smiling, so you can go against the grain and disrespect your own, or encourage them to think that it's okay. I don't need to smile at disrespect. I don't need to smile at any form of disrespect. I'm a grown man now, and I look at this shit and I ain't got nothing to say about it. I don't talk to these losers, even though I could talk right to them right back. I don't. And if I do speak, I use my tongue. I don't speak inwardly to no man. If he wants to talk, these losers want to talk to me, they should face me. That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? But this is what's going on in the world today, man. And you may not care because it's not happening to you, but it might soon will. You know what I mean? It might happen to you soon, and you're not gonna expect it. And then you're only gonna remember what you should have helped out on, or what you should have fought the fight for. Because it seems like a lot of people that are in the world that are doing good, the fight is your own. Do you understand that? The people out there that are doing good, the fight is your own. You have less help doing good compared to those doing the evil. Because if you look at the evil, they got volunteers all around. They got volunteers all around ready to fight the fight to make sure you're harmed. There's so many people out here that would join in on evil. But how many people are out there joining in on the good? I told you I'm an author of 35 books, 33 published, and I don't get much views. I don't get a lot of likes. I don't care for that shit. But what I do care for is the message going out. And that is the good, because I'm doing good, even in my situation, so I can write these books. Because if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't be able to talk on it. So I wrote books about relationships. I wrote books about what I'm talking about now, exposing the ways of the wicked, so on and so on. So if I'm writing the good, I'm doing something good. I don't have that support. But if I were to do something evil, like spread a rumor, lie about somebody, do evil against somebody, I would have a lot of support. I would have a lot of people backing me up. You know what I mean? And that's the sad thing about it. If I was about to go do some harm to somebody in a negative way, I'll have a lot of people supporting me. If I wanted to lie about somebody, somebody else would lie with me. But if I wanted to do good now, good don't have support, man. Good doesn't have support in this world, and that's the shame, because our people need to work together in order for us to, survive. Good's mission seems like it's an individual matter compared to the evil that has many surrounding it. And that's the sad thing about this world, because I'm going to use him again as an excuse. He's on a one-man mission. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, so many people are talking negative, some are talking good, but he's on a one-man mission, and he may be all over the place because of the situation he's in. But if you're exposing certain things and you're being attacked at the same time, it's a hard thing to do sometimes because of the distractions. So he's distracted with so many things and he's putting himself out there. But I noticed there ain't nobody else on his side riding with him. How many celebrities are out there actually riding with him? They were okay to take a beat from him. They were okay to vibe with him in the studio, but not many people are talking with him right now. You know what I mean? Even the Noriega thing there, the interview, they pulled it down. Why would you pull it down for? It's an interview. Whatever was said. You can't take it away. Why hide your darkness? Let the light shine through it. It's because you're scared to hurt the feelings of another individual, while in reality it's okay to go on a record and disrespect your beef opponent. It's okay to say whatever the hell you want about somebody in a beef record. It's okay to support that by playing that record on the radio. It's okay to do all of those things. But it's not okay when someone's actually stepping out against somebody who's your real enemy. I don't support that. So you could say that's not your lane. Why not? You'd rather just say, this is at Nori now. Why is it okay for you to be supporting getting drunk on live TV or live shows and acting a fool and talking about stupid shit instead of, that's your lane? If that's all your lane is, man, that shit is weak. You gotta get drunk to expose your shit. Why don't you just stay sober and speak the truth? You were sober, right? So why is it okay for you to support people getting drunk and talking instead of just talking the truth? I get the understanding of the show, but I wasn't really a fan of it just because of that. Because if you're gonna take down a show, it's okay for you guys to bang music of disc records and shit like that, man. Anyways, y'all, I would probably come back with another video. In the meantime, support the books. I wrote this shit for a reason. Exposing the ways of the wicked. That's a featured book of this video. This is the book author with Real Talk, Devret Clarke. Keep surviving.